Hello everybody. This is Stacy.
And Jelani.
All right. Now, we understand that season 2 of the It Takes Work podcast is nowhere in sight, not until February. However, I'd like to call this an SOS. Okay? And it's only going to be posted here on YouTube. So, if you are viewing this, please like, comment, and subscribe. We would love to hear your thoughts, especially on this SOS subject matter. Jelani, what are we talking about this evening?
Oh, you want me to say the topic?
Absolutely.
The topic is couples with opposite sex friends.
He was trying to get it. He got it partially. He was trying. But Lord have mercy. And we literally just talked about what the topic subject was before I hit record. All right. So I just want y'all to be clear. He knew what we were talking about. So I don't want y'all to think that he came on here and we just were not prepared. We just plugged up and said, let's go.
No, my memory just sucks as far as titles
go. So we are talking about having a friend of the opposite sex in a relationship. Now, this is specifically related to heterosexual relationships, okay? Now, so here's what we want to talk about tonight, okay? We want to talk about two things. Just kind of get each other's, I want to get your perspective. Let me say that. I want to get your perspective on having a person of the opposite sex as a friend. You know, I want to get your perspective on that, what your thoughts are. And then we want to talk about, because I'm not saying that you can't have friends of the opposite sex while in a relationship. I'm not saying that. What I'm thinking, though, is I feel like you have to have boundaries, right? And it has to be a measure of respect, right? And your spouse or your partner has to be, I'm sorry, they got to be the priority over your friends. Do you disagree?
No, I definitely agree.
Okay. So this is not a typical podcast episode. As I mentioned, it's sort of an SOS just to kind of get the conversation going. We would love to have some engagement from you all, from our, the YouTube audience, from social media. We would love to have some engagement because this is a conversation kind of similar to when we were talking about intimacy. This is a conversation that just needs to be had, right? So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to you, sir. What are your thoughts about, come on with it.
It's the posturing for me. Go ahead.
Come on.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about having a friend of the opposite sex, while in this relationship, in this marriage?
I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with having friends of the opposite sex in a relation while you're in a relationship, but you have to have boundaries set up and an understanding with that friend that, there's certain things that, you had to have established. That friend has to be friends with your spouse. Because it would just be kind of awkward. I mean, I'm just talking for me personally. It would be kind of awkward if I had a female friend who didn't like my wife.
Let me tell you something. Let me explain to you how that would go down. It wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
It absolutely wouldn't. She would be checked at the door. She would be checked at the door. Why are you here? Who sent you? And now let me say this. If you get into a relationship and you have friends of the opposite sex that were established before your relationship started, that's a different situation. How you handle that? You introduce your partner to your friend, your existing friend. You talk, and they don't have to be in the same type of friendship relationship with your partner, but they have to respect your partner. And your partner has to be the priority of that friend over that friend. Like if you're like, oh nah, that's my best friend from 5th grade. So
Mm-hmm.
their needs come before yours, then
Mm-hmm.
my first thing gonna be, well, why is on him, right? So the friends that were there before, they get grafted into the friend relationship, and that's fine. I think I'm more or less talking about you're in an established relationship, y'all are together, and a new friendship is introduced to one of you. And that can even be like, if he had a female friend. Now y'all know me. At least it's some people that know me for real, like outside of social media. So it's some people that know me for real, that know that if Jelani forged a friendship with a female outside of me, um I gotta say, I would have a ton of questions. Like, I'd be like, what, why, how come, who are, and I mean, and I'm gonna be a part of everything. Ain't gonna be no, I'm on the phone with my friend or I'm going to lunch. And I don't know, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. But I'm gonna be there, right? Just like I've had male friends, that were that I became friends with while we were married. But one thing he could tell you, want no secret conversations happening, right? Anywhere I went, he knew exactly where I was. Um, Whenever that gentleman came into this house, he was here. Um, so it wasn't like, oh, she out there doing whatever, being wherever, saying whatever, however. But now we've come to a space where, and I want to speak for you. But I feel like we don't have no need for no friends of the opposite sex.
I mean, if they come, they come. They don't, they don't. It's really not a big difference to me.
Let me just say this to all the ladies out there that's looking for that good male bestie. He ain't it. He not it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. His wife ain't rapped. His wife loved Jesus, and that's the only reason why his wife don't have a rap sheet. Don't. Nope. He can't help nobody. Nope. 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 Now we'll do coupleships. If y'all got friends, we have a married couple or a dating couple, we can hang out. Yeah, heck yeah. But yeah, nah. I don't know. This was a very so Jelani, I want to get your take though. I want to talk about this.
What else do you want me to say?
Huh?
Hmm?
So okay, let's say you had a, because you work for yourself now, but when you were working, and let's say that you had a, because of the type of work you do, the type of people you engage with, you had a coworker that you forged a friendship with because y'all work together
Mm-hmm.
a lot. And so, you said, okay, well, this is my friend so and so. Um, and because y'all work together, y'all got something in common that, of course, I wouldn't have in common because I didn't work in your field. I'm not familiar with the things. Y'all might have little inside jokes and all that. I'm not privy to any of that. But how would you incorporate or even introduce her into this? She might be aware that you are in a committed relationship. She may know. Because you let her know. I'm married. I got kids. I got a whole life.
Mm-hmm.
She knows this. But how do you introduce her to me? And then also, how does that work? Right? How does that work? How does that work for you? What do you do to establish the proper boundaries so that that friendship can be healthy and remain in the space that it needs to?
Well, first of all, you have to establish with that person, this is what I believe in. This is who I'm married to. I'm committed to that person. Ain't nothing ever going to happen outside of my marriage. And you establish that from the jump. Second of all, I would bring her over here to introduce her to you. And then you can ask any questions you feel like you need to ask to feel comfortable with me, her being a friend of mine.
So that's the thing. So let's, okay, because she's your friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I hear you when you're saying you would set those, but let's say that's not her intent. She ain't her, or at least I want you to approach this from a realistic perspective because Jelani, you be missing some stuff. So I want you to treat this scenario like a real life Jelani scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It is a woman that you're working with. Y'all been slinging boxes and locating items and breaking down pallets and all the foolishness. Alright? And y'all got a few things in common. Maybe she likes football. Not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something y'all talk about that's outside of the regular work stuff. So y'all decide, okay, this is my friend. Now, you don't know if there's any motive because you're approaching it from a pure perspective. Sure. Oh, this is my friend.
Yeah.
That's the point I want to go from. How do you introduce her into our dynamic?
I mean, it's not complicated. Like I said before, if I establish what I'm about and she understands that and in agreement with that, I bring her to you so then she can see our dynamic and see how we interact and know that ain't nothing coming in between us. And there's no chance of nothing coming in between us, so don't even look in that direction. Now, if you're here for a friendship, cool, we could do that. If you're here for other purposes, then you need to go on about your way.
And you would articulate that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. And so I guess from this, how would you prioritize your friendship?
What you mean? How would I prioritize?
How would you prioritize it?
You mean as far as family, friends, stuff like that? Family always will come before a friend.
Okay. Now, my stance on it, and like again, I'm not interested in entertaining people of the opposite sex that as friends. Now don't get me wrong, I do have male friends that I call friends, but they're not the types of male friends where you're on the phone talking to them all the time. I consider a lot of the guys that I know in the poetry community, I consider them to be friends, my poet friends, right? But we're not on the phone, we're not talking and stuff like that. The types of friendships I'm talking about are the close knit ones, the ones where you're communicating on the telephone. You might go out to brunch, you might be hanging out and stuff like that. And how that is prioritized into whatever your relationship dynamic is, whether you're married, whether you're engaged, whether you're exclusively dating, whatever. I think I just wanted to have the conversation to see, because I think sometimes we can think, oh, it's innocent, and you're not paying any attention. Mm-hmm. And then you look up, and you're in a whole emotional affair.
Yeah, that can happen.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, we just wanted to stop by. This is not a podcast episode. This is what I would like to call It Takes Work SOSs. So if y'all see these just pop up on your timeline, just know that a subject matter has come up in front of us that we felt the need to address with no formalities. So, thank y'all for tuning in. Please, please, please comment, subscribe, like, do with all the things. But we would love to hear from you. We're going to make sure our email address is in the description. Please, because I would literally like to have more conversation around this. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Talk to y'all later.